everyone, welcome to the next video in this series from Grains of Gold by Hanna Karlzon, also from her Seasons book. Now we've done a few different bits now. We've done the sort of berries, leaves, and this bit here we did some of these mushrooms and the path, the girl. So I'm thinking the cat should be our next focus. I'm gonna come in a little too close apparently. There we go. Now I don't really want to, I normally do cat's grey, and we're using Castle Arts Gold by the way. I usually do cat's grey. It feels a bit disconcerting that I've chopped off the girl's head, but anyway, we'll try not to look at that. But I don't really want to use grey here because although there's a little bit of grey in our stones, our picture is very much warm and orangey and browny, sort of almost autumnal type colouring. So I'm thinking maybe I should do the cat in more of a browny colour. I'm just having a little look at my colours. I think I might start with a yellow ochre. It's quite a brownish colour actually when it goes down, and I'm going to sort of use this as a base on the cat and just pop it down. You can see we've got a sort of brownish colour. I might not end up with a very realistic cat colour, if you know what I mean. I'm not very good at, I can't visualise stuff. I don't know what colour cats are. I know they're often black. We don't want to do black. I know we get sort of tabby gingery colours. I don't know how to colour that. So I'm just going to go with it and just see what happens and what colour our cat comes out. And I think we're not doing a realistic picture, so it doesn't really matter if the cat isn't perfect. Now, with regards to colouring, because we've got fur, I want to do this direction on the tail because I'm thinking the fur will go from here to here. Now when we get, I'm going to move down to the leg. I'm thinking it will probably start at the end of the toe and move up the foot. I'm guessing this. I don't have a cat, don't have any pets. I'm sort of guessing that the fur would come like that, and that also seems to work with what Hannah has drawn here, so that's sort of cementing my thought. Okay, but with this is only our initial layer, so I'm just going to really just go quite loose in here. Now I'm thinking the back might be that way, so we sort of have to work out how it trails down to the leg like that, and then down here thinking it might be that way on the tummy, but I'm not getting too sort of worried about it because I suspect that most animals are a bit scruffy and their fur isn't gonna necessarily always be nice and neat and in the correct direction, if there is a correct direction. So from this one I'm going to go up like this. So this bit I'm doing quite fast, just because it's the initial layer, really. And I think it gives us a nice light layer. If I colour quickly, if I colour slowly, I tend to put the colour down a little bit thicker, like I am here, where I'm going around these little fiddly bits, which is what I want to try and avoid really, because I want to keep it light at this point. Now I have tried to colour a sort of ginger cat with stripes before. When I did, there's a cat in Johanna Basford's Worlds of Wonder, and I did it sort of stripy. I wasn't very pleased, to be honest. It was okay, and it was my first time of colouring a cat, so I didn't get too worried about it, but it wasn't how I'd hoped, let's say. Now around the whiskers, sometimes I see people leave that white. I'm leaving the ear white at the minute. I'm not sure about that. I think I'm going to colour it this colour and around the eyes, and then I might just not go any darker down here. There we go. Oh, it's quite a cute cat, isn't it? Cute. Okay, so what I could do now, which I think I will do, I'm going to sharpen this pencil. I didn't show you, did I? Did I not? And then I'm going to draw on some furry lines like this, and you can see because it's sharper and I'm doing smaller strokes, they show up over the top of the sort of base that I've done. Hopefully you can see that anyway. Keep them you know, we don't want them so tiny that it's a really cumbersome task, but we don't want them huge either, thinking about the proportion of our cat and, you know, what sort of length of fur it might have. You know, cat's fur is often quite short, but oh, excuse me, I just got a tickle as I took a deep inhale. Yeah, so the cat's fur is often quite short. We do get really furry cats, I think. That's my knowledge of cats. I think there's a bit in there. Is very limited. My husband is the cat person. I'm just not. Excuse me. I might have to go and grab some water. I think I'll be alright. No, I'm not really a pet person. Having only had sort of budgies and hamster, I don't know much about big animals. My dad never liked big animals. He grew up with a dog. He doesn't really like dogs very much. It was a little I don't know what the proper name is. It was a sausage dog, my gran called it. And he was called, what's his name? Apparently his tummy was so big that it would drag on the floor because he got so spoiled. Oh, no, I can't think of the name. Anyway, she loved dogs, my gran. She didn't get another one after that though. I'm not sure why. I didn't ever ask her why she didn't have one, but she used to feed her neighbour's dog. She would go out to her back garden and her neighbour's back gate backed into her garden. It was a little bit odd, the arrangement. It's too difficult to explain, I think. But the little dog the big dog would be at the gate as she came out of the back door, and she would always have some little scraps for it, and it would be so excited. I say it, I don't know whether they were he or she, but she used to make a big fuss of that little dog, big dog, whatever it was. Anyway, she never let it into her garden. I don't know if her garden was secure enough, you know, whether her fence was completely secured, because if you don't have a pet, you don't necessarily think about that sort of thing. So I just keep going with my fur. Anyway, she was quite attracted to that dog. But no, I don't know whether it was a cost issue or maybe because she was older, although her little dog died when she was quite young. But I don't know, maybe her husband didn't want another one, and then, I don't know. I never asked her. She used to sometimes get a little bit upset talking about him because she, you know, missed him, so he didn't always want to ask too many questions. But anyway, so my dad and my mum had a cat actually called Blackie. Guess what colour it was? I don't know what colour it was, but I'm guessing. And but I don't know what happened to the cat. She didn't have it when she left home, so I guess it didn't last. I don't know. Oh, it sounds a bit morbid, doesn't it? But anyway. But my sister always wanted a dog, but my dad wouldn't allow it, doesn't like dogs. And my sister's got a little dog now. Well, her daughter's got a dog. Her daughter lives with her daughter, not her. It did when her daughter was at home, you know, it was there. And yeah, but she actually, I think she wishes they hadn't, because it's not very well behaved. There we go. I think they made a mistake of getting a puppy, and they didn't really have any experience of dogs, so knowing how to train it is quite difficult. Right, we look a bit more furry now, I think. Now, you can just leave it there or add other colours. I think while I'm just having a look at what we've got colour-wise, I don't want to use the walnut brown that's on her boots. It's a bit too similar, but all the other colours are very, very dark. We could use the brown ochre, I guess. That's not quite so dark. Where's that? There. Yeah, I'm going to sharpen my brown ochre, and I'm just going to use it not everywhere. Okay. Oh, I've got hiccups now. Sorry. I'm going to use it a little bit at the bottom down here to try and create the look of a bit of shadow, because the bottom of our little cat would be a little bit darker, especially here, look where bits of fur are overlapping. So I'm just going to try a few bits there. It might look odd and I might change my mind and decide to do more. I'm thinking sort of here on the edges of these paws. I hope you can see what I'm doing. Like here where the fur's overlapping a bit. So basically I'm trying to put in a bit of shadow, but using a furry technique. I don't know if it will really work, but as I say, we'll see what happens. A bit down there, and then under here where the neck, I'm actually going to put a line in here, partly because it's quite difficult to do the fur bit right up to the edge. Hopefully it will just look a bit like there's some shadow underneath this collar. It's a very fancy collar. Just realised how big this cat is. Do you think it's a giant cat or a tiny girl? Well, the mushrooms are quite big, so I think maybe, but they're too big even for the cat. Put a bit there, a bit darker there, maybe there. Around the eye, I'm doing a little bit furry under the eye, if I can, and then I'm going to do a line here. I think in the ears, it's always tricky. Do you do it pink, like skin, or some darker area? I think I'd try a pink and see where we go. What should we use? I think the apricot light is rather, it might work. It's not really pink, it's sort of pinky peach. I'm going to use it inside the ears completely, like that, and around the eye. I'm thinking this bit might be pink. That might be a little bit too pale, but we'll darken it up in a minute. So that's the apricot light. Now I'm thinking inside the ear, maybe we'll have some sort of very dark furry bits. Oh, I'm sorry, I have to wipe my nose while I think. Yeah, let's go for that, not the brown ochre. I'm looking more for a dark brown. So I've grabbed the Van Dyck. It's a little bit, it's not as brown, it's not as dark as some browns. What I'm going to do is run a little bit along the edge to give some depth, because we're looking inside the ear lobe. Is that what you call it in a cat? I don't know. Then put some fur here. I don't know if that quite works. If you've got a pet cat or photo of a cat, you could check and see if that looks right, like that. Now here I'm going to darken up this edge where it overlaps. I haven't really done that eyebrow much. It's not really an eyebrow. I want to leave that corner bit pink, but just darken a bit. I feel like that would be dark under there. There, that's better. Now cat's eyes, how is it? Is this bit black and this bit coloured? Yeah, I think that's right. Let's hope so. So ivory black first for the centre of the eye. There we go. And then I'm thinking, I quite like to do green, but we've not really got the right shade of green for where my mind's going green. I think I'm going to do it terracotta, the eyes. Here we go. Now, an eye is never just one colour. What we're going to do is put a light layer of terracotta down, like that. And then make it darker nearer to the black bit, like that. Let's see how that works. I think it's okay. Yeah. Now let's do the collar. What are we going to do with the collar? We've got sort of leathery bits and jewels. I'm wondering whether to use this terracotta for the jewels so it sort of matches the eyes. What do you think? I think I will. So here we've got a little area marked on which is supposed to be left white, I think. So I'm going to go around the edge with the dark layer and then fade it a bit as I go into the middle, like that. Hopefully it will give our stone some depth and it will look like it's standing out from the collar, but then there's that white bit. I can do them all the same. It's tempting to do the stones, the gemstones along the path in this. Can you hear a strange noise outside? Never mind. On the path in a similar colour, or the same colour. But they might be a bit too close to the berries. Maybe I'll do them in an orangey red, maybe an ochre. Now I've got to decide here what's gemstone, what isn't. I think I'll start at the bottom. This is very obviously one here, I would say. And here. They look a bit pearl-like, but I can't do a pearl in orange, so I'm just doing my thing here. There we go. Now I'm going to do these around the outside as if they're gems. I'm basically going to try and fade them towards the edges. Quite tricky. Here we go. And then what's going on here? So that is this bit. What's this? I think that is that bit and that might be that bit. So I'm going to colour in this bit and this bit. I'm just sort of guessing what might be a gemstone and what might not be. I'm just sort of colouring it through. If you disagree, you can do yours a bit differently. You know, it's not always easy to tell quite what our illustrator was thinking. Or it might be just that they've left it for us to decide. Now the collar itself, this bit looks like it could be a sort of leathery type collar, doesn't it? But what do we do there? I'm going to do this like it's gemstones on this side as well. I need to sharpen this pencil, don't I? Oops, that was broke. Did you hear? Goodness knows where that's gone. It just pinged across the room. I didn't even vacuum in here today. Been doing the cleaning, but never mind. It didn't go anywhere near. It went right behind the desk. There's no way I could get a vacuum in there. Collar. I'm thinking a brown, a dark brown leathery type colour. Let me look at my permanent brown deep. Where's that? There it is. Permanent brown deep. And I'm just gonna put a layer down and see how it looks really. I'm not pressing too hard yet because I'm going to build this up a little bit. So I'm thinking maybe down here it should be a bit darker, so I'm going to layer that up a bit more here and sort of fade it off a little bit. So I don't want it completely sort of with a white shine on it completely, but if we leave it a bit lighter there, it just looks a bit like it's shiny leather, I hope. And I'm thinking these sort of pads, these I'm going to do the same thing, thinking that they're sort of a leathery bit. So I'm going to make them darker here where they're near the collar. Just fade it off a little bit towards the bottom, but not leave it white. You can leave it white when it's a sort of jewel, I think. Ooh, it's a noise. Very strange noise. Rumbling, motory type noise outside. Gone now. Might just have been a bit of a vehicle going by that needs a bit of TLC. There we go. Right, we've got a little bit here which looks like it would be metal behind our jewels. Have we got any metal yet? No. I would like a colour that just looks like gold on its own, which doesn't sort of do, you know, doesn't need extra colours. Now our green gold here is actually shiny, and it's rather a nice colour actually. I think I'm going to use that if I can find where I've put it. Oh, here it is. Now this for me doesn't quite work like a metallic pencil in the sense that it it seems to give us quite a nice base colour, whereas some metallic pencils like the Polychromos gold, metallic gold, sort of needs a bit of help colour wise. I think sometimes it needs a layer of yellow under it or something. It's a bit flat colour wise. It shines but it's got no depth to it, whereas this is actually a very good gold, I think. So well done, Castle. But it is a bit odd that it's the only shiny pencil in the whole set. But I think because it works, even if it's not catching the light, then that's a great plus in its favour. Now I am going to do this little bit of ribbon. Yeah, let's pop that one away. I feel like I need a contrasting colour. I'm wondering whether I can get away with a green, because we've got all this green leafage, foliage. So I'm wondering whether to do a green. I think it would be nice, wouldn't it? Let's grab, what should we grab? What do I like? Leaf green deep, it's rather nice. Yeah, I know, I'm going to go for the cadmium green pale. It's my favourite and I'm just going to use it. Here we go, cadmium green pale. And let's just go around there. I'm trying to make it, the ribbon a little bit lighter in the middle. Try and make it look like it's a little bit shiny, but like it's sort of silky satin. It's not always that easy. There we go. Maybe I should have done the cat's eyes green. A bit late now, isn't it? Okay. Now what I'm also going to do when I'm down here at the bottom, I'm going to do these gemstones. Now, as I'm thinking carefully about my mushroom colour, and yeah, I think I'm going to do these in a red ochre. There we go, red ochre. Now, for gemstones, you want to make them look like you're looking through them, like they're glassy. Now, I find if you do that and taper it off, it looks a bit more like I'm looking through into the colour inside rather than it be coloured outside. I don't know how well I'm explaining myself. Particularly there, looks like I'm looking down, I'm seeing colour within, but this bit is light and catching the light. That's what I'm sort of trying to achieve. Now you can use white pen on the outside to get rid of all the lines, and then that makes it look even more like it's shining, but sometimes I find it can make them just sort of disappear off into the background, and I think I'm going to leave the lines there because I think it might just look like I've put some weird patches of red around and it's hard to know what they are. Oh gosh, my son is clattering down the stairs 100 miles an hour. I don't know what this is, but I'm just going to colour it in this colour like that. It doesn't look like it's a stone, does it? But yeah, there we go. A little bit there, and I think this is the last one. Yes, it is. Right, we have got a little bit of time. I'm sort of trying to make the videos roughly the same sort of length each in this series, and I've got an ant and a snail on all the, I think I'll just do the mushroom stems first. I'm trying to remember what I used for the last ones. What did I use? I'm not sure. Oh well, I shall just have to work it out, won't I? A sort of grey brown. I probably used the warm grey or the Davies grey, didn't I? I think that's quite a good, I do like a grey mushroom. I'm sorry, it's a bit boring. I am going to use the I'm going to use the Davies grey. It's a little bit lighter. Let's see, are we all in shot? Let's come out a tad. There we go. And I'm just going to do a layer on them all first, and then if I feel like I need to do a little bit more dark areas, you know, details that are a bit darker, then I can use the warm grey. So I've left myself that option, so that will be good. We won't be doing the tops of the mushrooms today because it's gonna, as I say, I'm trying to make the videos roughly the same amount of time as each other, and if I do the tops as well, the video will be twice as long. So I'm just going to spend a little bit of time doing parts of them, and then we'll finish it off in the next video. Now, having a look at my schedule, it may be that this video, the next video, might not be tomorrow, or it might come at a different time of day, just because of what I'm planning, and it's complicated. We've got Monday planner page coming up and things like that, so I'm hoping that it will sort of work, but it might mean that you have to wait an extra day, or more likely that it'll pop to a morning video rather than an afternoon video, so you have a sort of longer morning video. I hope it isn't too confusing, but it just, having a schedule for the I think I'm going to continue to use this one to put the shadow in on the edges. So I want my edges a bit darker, so putting a dark line across so it's a bit shadowy, and then just fading it in a bit, and hoping that once I do it for both sides it will make a bit more sense and look a bit less flat. Yeah, I hope the scheduling, but yeah, with always having a Monday, I've got to have my Monday planner page in the afternoon because that's what everybody's used to, and those are some of my more popular videos. Some people, I think, just watch those, I'm not sure. So need to sort of make sure that's doing what people are expecting, basically. There we go. That's a bit messy. Let's get that, tape that off a bit more. There we go. I think it looks better than this, but you know, if you prefer it just flat colouring, of course just do it however you wish. And yeah, work your way down, and then the same up the other side. It's quite simple, I feel. While I'm doing this, I'm actually starting to think about my background, because you know, we need some sky here. I know what I'm going to do with all these little dots. That, well, vaguely, not exactly, but vaguely. I'm going to go over here and do the same with this one. So that's good. I'm just going to sharpen. But I don't know what I'm going to do with the sky. I think it's daytime, not nighttime. What do you reckon? There's no sort of lamps in the picture, candles or anything like that. Why would you be walking along a path at night? Well, you might be, but yeah, I think she's going off on a walk somewhere. She looks quite serious, doesn't she? I sometimes think people could be a little bit more smiley. But, you know, it is what it is. There we go. There. Now I am going to do, we've got a sort of skirty bit here on each of these. What I'm going to do is make the main part a little bit darker and the details lighter. So I'm going to use my Davy's grey to fill in all these little bits here and this outside bit. I'm going to fade that a bit so it's a bit lighter at the bottom, just to give it a bit of interest, to make it more fun for me to colour. And these bits I'm going to fade towards the base. They look like fur. Quite interesting. There we go. And this one's the same. So just fill in these circles. And then do the edges and these furry bits. It's all the same. And then oh, we've missed out that one. I knew something wasn't quite right. My brain was going, something needs changing. Dear. There we go. And the same on these, so just fading towards the tip. I hope everyone's good. If you are anxious to get this finished and done and not waiting for the next video, members of my channel actually get, as their perk for being a member, they get a compilation version of any video that's in parts, and they get it before or on the release day. So for example, if you like doing the weekly planner pages, for example, very often I'm just going to sharpen my pencil, very often they're more than one page, because they're quite detailed. And so I make all the parts and then I basically stitch them together in my editing software. I'm not experienced enough to do anything too fancy. And then I make up this new video which I release to my members so they can watch it all in one go. So not only do they get a nice long video to watch, they get to see it ahead of everybody else. And it's a little bit easier as well to find all the bits, I think, of the videos when they're all together. I'm going to use the warm grey now. I'm just going to sharpen it. A bit easier, you know, to follow it along because you've got all the parts in order. This is warm grey. Now I think for these I'm just going to fade towards the base. I'm hoping this is significantly darker than the Davy's grey. It's okay if I don't fade it too quickly. Yeah, so I just thought I would let you know about that. I need to do a new video actually on my members tab to explain it better, because I'm not sure I explain it that well. There are 3 levels of membership, but the perks are the same for everyone. It's just that if you want to pay a little bit extra, if you feel that it deserves a bit more or whatever, you have that option. But there is, I'm trying to remember, the lowest one is $4.99, but I don't know if that's dollars or pounds or how it works in different currencies. And then the next one is $12.99, and the final layer is more expensive, but I can't remember how much it was. I think it's $25.99. It goes up quite a bit. But if you don't want to be a member and commit to a monthly payment, I mean, I'm assuming you can cancel at any time, but you have to remember to do that, of course, so the payment might go out and you might be like, oh no, you know. So if you just want to make a little donation, you won't get the perk of the membership of the compilation, but you can use something called Super Thanks on a YouTube video, and it just gives a little donation. And someone did that the other day and I was really excited, and it was really kind of them, so thank you. And you can also use Ko-fi or PayPal tip jar. The PayPal tip jar is actually the best way because it's got the lowest fee, because with Ko-fi it goes through, it then goes to my PayPal, so Ko-fi takes a chunk. With most donations, Ko-fi takes a chunk, and then PayPal takes a chunk. So if you go through PayPal directly, then there's less fee. Also, YouTube takes a big chunk if you go through YouTube. But to be fair, they provide a platform which otherwise I wouldn't be able to collect from. So I don't begrudge them taking a chunk of money. But, you know, it's just worth knowing that, you know, there are fees that I have to pay. Well, they're taken out before I get it. It, you know, you don't get everything. But it's just the way it is. But people have been very kind and very generous, and I really appreciate it. Thank you. It does make a difference. It means I can keep doing this without having to think about getting another job, you know. But this is the very last little bit I'm doing now of this one, and I'm going to finish off in another video, or else it's just going to be a bit too long, I think, just to match the length of the other ones really. But I thought it would be neat to just finish off these skirts, and then we'll have fun with the top bit. I know Tanya, who asked me to do this video, actually it's another way you can go onto Ko-fi and you can ask me to do certain videos for you. Tanya asked me to do this one for her. She didn't sponsor the video, which is what you can do in Ko-fi, but she anyway, this I've lost my way. She was finding the mushrooms tricky, so she'll find out soon how I'm going to do them. So will I. But thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have a super day, and happy colouring.